Coach Prime, Charles Kelley, listen, they just got a big win through the transfer portal as the spring transfer portal season is opening up for a lot of players and a lot of schools. And we got to talk about the impact of what Deeve Harris is going to make for the Colorado Buffaloes on that defensive line, what you guys should expect, and the haul that the Colorado Buffaloes have had in the transfer portal so far this season. But before we dive into it, please go ahead and hit that like and the subscribe button. Guys, let me know what you think about the show. Jump down in the comments. Are you excited about Deeve Harris, the new Colorado football commit on the defensive line? So, the Colorado Buffaloes, let me see. So, Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes got a big win today in the former three-star edge rusher, Deeve Harris, who originally, follow me here, committed to the Minnesota Gophers, who are in the Big Ten, over some other elite schools in his class. I believe he was also looking at schools like Utah, Florida, Michigan, and a couple of others. So, hey, big win for Michigan. But ultimately, he ended up transferring to Old Dominion, where really he got a chance to play. He got a chance to show his stuff. He got a chance to star. And now he is into the transfer portal again, trying to make a bigger name for himself. As he said in his tweet, rewriting his story. And the 6', 235-pound edge rusher from Old Dominion now, out of St. Louis, Missouri originally, is not anybody that I think Colorado Buff fans should be overlooking. Because as we talked about earlier, when you all got Jordan Dominic from Arkansas, who I said was a really big addition and a guy that probably will make the starting rotation for the Buffs, especially at the edge. You also got a guy like Taylor Upshaw, but now you got a guy like Deeve Harris. Again, a guy that is able to come in and really help anchor down in the trenches, which is where you're going to win your football games. So Deeve Harris has a total of, in 2021, 26 total tackles. He had 3 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception for 40 yards, and it was taken back for a touchdown. In 2022, he had 34 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, 1 interception, again, 16 yards taken in for a touchdown. So Deeve Harris is a guy that is an impact ball player. He is going to make an impact for the Colorado Buffs on the defensive line, and he is going to add depth where the Colorado Buffs really didn't have that before. And since Charles Kelley and Coach Prime have really came in here and started to recruit the defense really well, they've picked up key acquisitions at the defensive line. Well, and I like what they got at linebacker too. So 2 great spots for the Colorado Buffs to address this offseason in terms of the transfer portal. But the question is, what are you guys going to get out of these edge rushers in this class, especially this spring? Because he's got 2 years of eligibility remaining, which you would expect he's probably going to take those 2 years. And that room, like I said, has Jordan Dominic, Taylor Upshaw, Jeremiah Brown, and Taj Alston here from Oklahoma. What are you guys going to get? I don't know. But if you guys can get at least half the production that they were giving you. I mean, Jordan Dominic last season had 7.5 sacks. If you can get just 4 from him this season, you're stoked. If Deeve Harris can just give you 2.5, 3 sacks this season, you're stoked, because that's tremendous production. And then, well, if Jordan Dominic gives you 7.5 sacks, then I guess you're just jumping for joy as a Colorado Buffs fan. So the question is, will the Colorado Buffs be able to win more football games with what they have built in the trenches so far? I don't know. I really like what Coach Prime has taken out of the transfer portal personally. I look at this class. It's not the most sexy thing out there. I will admit that. It's Coach Prime's class is not sexy. But I look at these 2023 commitments, and I look at that transfer portal class, and they addressed key needs. You got a top 15 running back in the country in Dylan Edwards in the 2023 class, who's going to make an impact for you right away. You got guys like, well, in the transfer portal, we talked about it, Jordan Dominic. But at the linebacker position, you got Demoy Kennedy. But on the offensive side of the ball, you have done nothing but load up weapons for Shedeur Sanders. Xavier Weaver, who also is teammates with Jimmy Horn Jr. out of USF. Then, not to mention, you added offensive linemen from Sean Lewis's system in Jack Bailey and Savion Washington. And again, going back to the defensive side of the ball, you had Taj Austin, who is actually, I said he was from Oklahoma. He's not from Oklahoma. I was thinking of Taj McCoy, the kid from Oklahoma, not Taj Austin, but Taj Austin at the edge from West Virginia. Avonte Bentley. And nothing but make acquisitions that are going to be able to help with experience in that locker room, help these kids be able to progress their careers, get better, but ultimately provide production and depth for the Colorado Buffs immediately, but also give Colorado some time to be able to go out there and build some classes because some of these kids are bringing 2 to 3 years of eligibility. So if you're a Colorado Buffs fan and you see what Coach Prime is doing, you've got to be excited because you're not just going to have a bunch of one-year guys that you're turning over and then you got to replace them the next season. A lot of these guys, they have 2 or 3 years. They're going to be there for more of the long haul. And if you guys are able to keep Shedeur Sanders past this season, which if I'm him, I'm probably staying because this is a loaded quarterback class for the NFL. And unless he just goes out there and wins a Heisman, I don't think it would be worth it for him to enter this class. I think people will still have questions. So if you guys are able to retain Shedeur Sanders, man, I'm liking the Colorado Buffs because, well, in 2024, USC, UCLA, they leave the Big Ten. Now, there's still questions looming about Colorado potentially going to the Big 12, but we'll save that conversation for another day. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch this spring game. It's going to be interesting to watch just how Coach Prime is able to build this season and really develop this team going forward. But if you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below about this Colorado football team. Guys, listen, I am dealing with some allergies, so if you notice, I'm not getting super hyped, not trying to make my throat get to the point where I'm having to cough a bunch. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and the subscribe button. Help me out a little bit. Jump in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about not only the recent acquisition of Deeve Harris, the edge rusher, through the transfer portal, but let me know what you guys think about what Coach Prime and the job that he's done at Colorado so far. Do you think Coach Prime is doing a good job? Do you approve? What do you think the Colorado Buffs are going to do this next season?